Hello, hello. What's going on? How's everyone doing? All right. Hope you guys don't mind me getting started a little bit early today. I'm super excited that everyone's here joining the Missouri State Live Q&A session. This is a great opportunity for students to ask whatever questions you have about Missouri State. Hopefully, I can answer those questions for you, or at least point you in the right direction for those. My name is Jimmy Sodi. I'm an assistant director in the Office of Admissions. I have been working with Missouri State for about 4 years now. I recruited in the St. Louis area when I first started, and now I'm up in the Kansas City, Northwest Missouri part of the state. But I'm originally from St. Louis. I'm a graduate of Parkland North High School. Go Vikings. And I went to graduate school at Missouri State. And after that, I decided to start working for Missouri State, and I loved it ever since. So again, this is just an opportunity for you as current or prospective students to ask whatever questions you might have. I'm going to kind of just dive into some basic stuff about Missouri State. I do want to point out that I have some moderators in our chat that are going to help me kind of address some questions. There are some of our admissions representatives and admissions staffs. So definitely they can help you out as well. And also, if you have any questions, more personalized questions as far as like personalized to your situation, I would definitely encourage you to email us at admissions@missourustate.edu. You can also set up a virtual appointment with one of our admissions staff if you go to missourustate.edu/contact rep. And so I would definitely encourage you to use one of those two outlets if you have any specific questions that might be able to help you out with. But again, I want to just give you some basic information about Missouri State. And then once I see some questions start rolling in, we can start getting those answered. But Missouri State was founded in 1905. We were founded as a teachers college. And to this day, we still have exceptional education programs. In 2005, we actually changed our name from Southwest Missouri State University to Missouri State University. Pretty common to find some alumni across the state who still refer to us as Southwest Missouri State, but we refer to us as Missouri State University, MSU, or Mo State. And then in fall of 2018, we actually set an enrollment record. We have about 24,000 students that attend Missouri State University. That number does include dual enrolled students. It includes online students, includes our graduate college and national students. We also have 3 sister campuses associated with this Springfield campus. We have a campus out in Mountain Grove, Missouri. Super happy about that. A campus out in West Plains, Missouri, which is a great opportunity for our Missouri State students or prospective students who want to utilize the full benefits of their A+ dollars can go to Missouri State West Plains, utilize the full benefits there, and then transfer into Missouri State pretty seamlessly. And we also have a institution out in Dowlin, China. So great opportunities for our students to kind of be spread across those 4 different campuses. That being said, even though we have 24,000 students at Missouri State, we like to keep our class sizes pretty intimate for our students. Our average student to faculty ratio is going to be 22-1, which means that on average, we have 22 students to 1 faculty member in your classroom. Again, that is an average though. So when you're taking those general education courses, definitely much bigger class sizes. But as you progress into your major specific courses, that class size drops off significantly. You may have a class size of 12-1, 10-1, but again, over your entire 4 years at Missouri State, it averages out to be about 22-1. A lot of times students ask me, why should I consider Missouri State University? And one thing I personally always point students to is our public affairs mission. Missouri State was given our public affairs mission in 1995 by the Missouri General Assembly. And really what that public affairs mission means is you're going to come to Missouri State and get a great education, but we want to make sure you leave here a more active citizen, a more well-rounded citizen for your community. It has 3 main pillars: community engagement, ethical leadership, and cultural competence. And those 3 pillars really are the framework for everything we do at Missouri State. We want to make sure that students understand what it means to be engaged and active in their community. We want to make sure that you understand what it means to be a leader in your community and eventually in your workplace. And we also want to make sure that you understand what it means to be culturally competent and understand what individuals' different identities and their cultural backgrounds. And that's something that we really strive for at Missouri State, to help students, even outside of the classroom, kind of dive into these 3 pillars and find out, what they want to do to impact their community in a positive way, make their Missouri statement, as some would say. So for sure. So we got a couple people in the chat right now, again, helping out, moderating. But again, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot them in the chat. I will be glad to help answer those for you guys. Some comments about the bearware. Yeah, definitely got to rock the bearware, especially working from home. Still want to make sure I got the maroon right on and that bear face logo on and everything like that. So fee waivers from Missouri State, I can definitely talk about getting fee waivers, out-of-state fee waivers, things like that. There are a couple of different ways that students can get fee waivers, out-of-state fee waivers if you're an out-of-state student and you're coming to Missouri State. One of the simplest ways is to get a 24 in the ACT or the SAT equivalent. Or if you rank in the top 50% of your graduating class or have a 3.25 GPA or higher, you can definitely receive in-state tuition. So that is definitely a great way. If you also receive one of the automatic scholarships, you would also qualify for in-state tuition as well, or one of the competitive scholarships like the Inclusive Excellence Scholarship or the Presidential Scholarship as well. Kendall Marie asks, so does Missouri State have a dual credit program for high schoolers involving the medical field? So Kendall, to answer your question, we do have a very strong expanding dual credit program that we offer students across the state. Students all across the state are taking dual credit programs through Missouri State. I'm not too sure about the medical field portion of that question there. I'm not sure if we have questions regarding or classes, dual credit classes regarding the medical field specifically, but we do offer a very strong dual credit program. Jaslyn Mark asks, what work study opportunities are there? There are several different work study opportunities at Missouri State. One thing that I want to point out, Jaslyn, is that the confusion oftentimes is usually work study versus student employment. Missouri State does offer both routes. So I definitely want to mention that work study will be through your financial aid. So you would work with your financial aid. Once we receive your FAFSA, you'll be told how much work study you're available for. Student employment is offered to any student. You can apply for several different jobs across the institution. In the rec center, all office employees, student employees as well. In the PSU and across the institution as a whole, we offer a lot of different work study opportunities as well. And again, I want to point out that I have some moderators in here, some of our admission staff that will help answer some more specific questions. Sorry if I missed parts of your question, things like that. But again, thank you, Matt, and thank you, Kirsty and Courtney and Jim, who are helping out in the chat for me. And so, but again, I want to point out, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat so I can get those answered for you. And moving forward, I do want to talk a little bit more about just academic programs as a whole. At Missouri State, we offer a ton of different academic programs. Some of the programs that we kind of like to highlight are our College of Business has a lot of strong programs, marketing, finance, management, things like that. We have an excellent College of Arts and Letters that houses a lot of great programs out of there: vocal performance, musical theater, acting, dance, things like that. We also have, again, as I mentioned, great education programs. So super excited for students who are going into teaching. We have a lot of strong programs on campus for our students. And then also I want to point out our Health and Human Service programs, who have exceptional undergraduate programs and graduate programs as well. So physical therapy, occupational therapy, things like that. Very strong nursing program as well. So Kendall Outlaw asked, what are some requirements to enroll at Missouri State? So Kendall, that's a great question. When it comes to determining or getting students admitted to Missouri State, it's a pretty simple process. One of the first things what we definitely encourage you to do is to fill out an application. There is no application fee. So again, there's no risk to filling out the application. But once you submit that application, there's two things we need to admit you as an undergraduate student. We need your transcript and then your ACT score or SAT score. We use those two documents to kind of make an admissions decision. We have what's called a selection index or sliding scale, to where we look at your GPA, and it tells us exactly what test scores you need to get admitted to Missouri State. One of my moderators can actually drop the link into the chat about our admissions policy, which will have that sliding scale for you. So definitely, I would encourage you to find your GPA, find your class rank, and it'll tell you exactly what test score you would need to get admitted to Missouri State University. So moving down a little bit, Jaslyn Mark asked, what percent of students study abroad? Jaslyn, I'm not sure what exact percent that is. We have a large population of our students who decide to take us up on the opportunity of studying abroad. We have a lot of great study abroad opportunities. Two different study away offices on campus, one in our College of Business and one in our student union, that'll help students kind of create that study abroad experience. So we definitely encourage our students to take full advantage of our study away opportunities at Missouri State. So Kendall Marie asked, I don't graduate until 2021. Can I apply now? that application for fall 2021 is going to open up this summer. So technically right now, Kendall, you cannot apply for Missouri State until that fall 2021 application opens up in the summer. But I'm glad you're already thinking about applying to Missouri State. We'll make sure that we definitely send you some information about applying as well. So Mason Hill asks, so I have applied, found a roommate. When we find out more information about housing information? So that's a great question, Mason. I'm glad you asked that. For us housing assignments, that will actually get released in May. So we're collecting all that housing information, and then in May, housing will release those housing assignments with your residence hall as well as your roommate information. So be on the lookout in May. We will also be sending out communications about that as well to keep you informed as well. And thank you, Kirsty, for kind of answering those questions as well. So Ashley DeCosti asks, is there an application essay? There is not an essay to apply for admission to Missouri State. That's a great question, Ashley. Some of our competitive scholarships do require a essay. So if you're applying for a presidential scholarships or a highest merit-based scholarship, or if you're applying for the Inclusive Excellence or Centennial Leadership Scholarship, there is an essay component to that to receive that scholarship. But in regards to applying for admission to Missouri State, there is no application essay. So great question, Ashley. Scrolling down a little bit. So Dylan Hawes asked, how is the school handling high school students who are juniors now not able to take the ACT due to COVID-19 until next year, likely delaying applications? So that's a great question. When it comes to COVID-19, we actually have a website, admissions have a website that kind of highlights any updates that are happening that are being affected by COVID-19. And so when it comes to fall 2021 students, we're definitely in talks about how to handle potential delays in SAT and SAT testing. Again, we're going to make sure we post any updates to admissions policies, admission requirements, things like that on that COVID-19 coronavirus admissions website. So great question, Dylan. And I'm pretty sure one of the moderators will drop that link to that kind of update page as well. Zachary Kyle says, for the major elementary education, I saw some semesters I need 18 hours. Can you split it to make all semesters even for credit hours? So Zachary, that's a great question. And that's one of the questions I'm going to be kind of hesitant to answer. When it comes to kind of the academic side of at Missouri State, we really like to let our advisors handle those questions. I don't want to give you any poor information on that as well. I'm pretty sure one of our moderators can give you some contact information for the elementary education department as well to get that question answered for you. So Jasmine Marks asked, what are your most popular majors at Missouri State? So our most popular individual major at Missouri State is going to be psychology. The most individual students take psychology as a major. That being said, I would say popularity, nursing, our education majors are very strong. I would say from a national landscape, I would say a musical theater program has a huge outreach to where we have a lot of students nationally apply for our musical theater and theater program. And then most of our programs in our College of Business are incredibly strong, Jaslyn. So we have a lot of students who major in marketing, finance, entrepreneurship, accounting, things like that, and then continue on to get their graduate degree through our College of Business as well. So great question, Jaslyn. So Patty Pruitt asked, when will you be able to visit Missouri State for a tour? Great question, Patty. Right now, we are at a stay-at-home order in Springfield, so we are not allowing, we're not holding any campus tours right now or any big visit experience. Again, we're going to try to keep students updated as situations change. So if things return to some form of normalcy and we're allowed to have big visits and visitors, we'll definitely let students know that they can visit campus again. That being said, I understand a virtual tour doesn't give the same experience as a campus tour, but I would definitely encourage our students to visit our virtual tour online to get an idea of what Missouri State is like from that virtual experience. And one of our moderators will definitely drop that link into the chat as well. And real quick, I want to plug again, if you want to set up an appointment to speak kind of one-on-one with an admissions counselor about certain things, I would definitely encourage you to do that. We have virtual appointments going on where you can do a Zoom meeting or a phone appointment with them. One of our moderators will drop the link in the chat. And again, if you have any more personalized questions from Missouri State, I would definitely encourage you to send us an email at admissions@missouristate.edu. But again, a great way to kind of get some one-on-one attention on your individual case. So that's a great way of doing that. Scrolling down a little bit more. Oh. Kendall Marie asks, I've had 12 college credits that I've earned in biology. So does that mean that I don't take a biology class freshman year? So Kendall, that's all about, that's a great question. That's all about how those classes transfer to Missouri State in your intended major. One thing I would encourage any student to do who takes any dual credit courses is to look at our transfer equivalency guide. That guide kind of shows what a class that you took at a certain institution will transfer in as at Missouri State. If you have any dual credit courses that are not through Missouri State, I would recommend going to that transfer equivalency guide and seeing what that class that you're taking, that biology class you're taking, is going to transfer in as, and does it match a course that you might need your freshman year. So one of our moderators will definitely drop that link in there for you to kind of look at that transfer equivalency guide. So Ariel asked, do you have to take a certain amount of years of a foreign language or art to apply to Missouri State? Ariel, I can say that you do not have to do that to apply to Missouri State. That is not a requirement to apply for admissions to Missouri State. We do have a core curriculum requirement, and one of our admissions moderators can drop the link to our admissions policy there. Will kind of show you the breakdown of 4 units of English, 3 units of math, 3 units of science, et cetera, et cetera. So they can drop that link in there for you as well. Scrolling down a little bit more. Oh, missed one. Would you accept college credit plus from out of state? So if Della Young asked, would you accept college credit plus from out of state? Della, just for clarification, if you're talking about dual credit courses from institutions that are out of state, we would still accept those credits. Again, to get those credits onto your transcript at Missouri State, you will need to send that transcript to Missouri State University so we can evaluate them and put them on your account, though. If I didn't answer that question, please let me know and I can try to address a little bit more. So Mackenzie Honeshell asked, do students have to apply for each scholarship individually, or students consider for everything automatically? So great question, Mackenzie. At Missouri State, we offer 3 different levels of scholarships. As I like to say, we offer competitive, automatic, and then we have our general departmental scholarships. Automatic is as it sounds. You will apply to Missouri State, you will be admitted to Missouri State, and then we will look at your ACT score, GPA to assign a certain automatic scholarship to you. So automatic in the sense that there's no extra work that you have to do once you've been admitted to Missouri State. Competitive, there is some extra work that you have to do once you've applied and been admitted to Missouri State. And then you will need to actually apply for one of those competitive scholarships. So the Presidential Scholarship, Centennial Leadership Scholarship, or the Inclusive Excellence Scholarship. Again, those 3 scholarships do require an essay, so that's a little bit extra work you have to do. And when it comes to the departmental and foundational scholarships, you definitely also need to apply for those, but that application is kind of one large umbrella application that you'll fill out that opens up in November and closes in March. So again, we do have automatic scholarships that don't require you to do any extra added work, but as far as the competitive and then the departmental scholarships, you will have to do a little bit more extra work to submit that application. I'm glad we have one of our education advisors in the chat, so I'm glad she's able to answer that question for you. Scrolling down a little bit more. So Zachary asked, do you offer any discounts for bordering states of Missouri? So as far as discounts for like the out-of-state fee waivers and things like that, we don't necessarily do a bordering state per se. We again look at 3 different criteria to assign students in-state tuition. And so again, those 3 criteria are a 24 on the ACT or the SAT equivalent, a 3.25 GPA or higher, or rank in the top 50% of the graduating class. If you meet one of those 3 requirements, you would automatically receive in-state tuition as an out-of-state student. So it's that simple. All right, scrolling down a little bit more to get some more questions here. So Jasmine Marks, what do you look for when accepting students into Missouri State? So Jasmine, that's a great question. I do want to say that when we're accepting students to Missouri State, we are really looking at their core curriculum. So those classes are taking right now in high school to prepare them for college. Again, like the 4 units of English, the 3 units of math, et cetera, et cetera. And we also look at their academics, so their GPA, their ACT or SAT score, their class rank, things like that. That's the major things we're looking for to accept students into Missouri State. Again, if they meet that core curriculum requirement, so you meet those classes that you need to get you ready for college, and then you meet the sliding scale index, then we can admit you to Missouri State University. Outside of that, there's not basically a individual review process that we're doing for every student to get accepted to Missouri State. Again, a big thank you to my moderators for kind of answering a lot of questions in there. They're dropping a lot of links in there, so I would definitely encourage you to check out some of the links. They can get those questions answered for you. See if I missed any questions here. Awesome. Again, real quick, let me plug it again. I'm going to probably plug it another 10 more times, but definitely want you guys to do it. If you guys have any more specific questions to your individual cases, please email admissions@missouristate.edu. And if you want to set up a virtual appointment with an individual admissions representative, either a Zoom meeting or a phone call, please go to the missouristate.edu/contact-reps. I'm pretty sure my moderators are dropping the links constantly in there, so super happy about that. Thank you, Kirsty, for answering that question that I was about to get to. On it. That's great. So a couple other things while more questions populate. I'm definitely going to talk real quick about athletics, getting involved on campus, things like that. Missouri State currently has 17 Division I athletic programs, so football, basketball, men and women's basketball, volleyball, sand volleyball, women's track and field, a lot of things for our students to kind of enjoy. Some athletic events. We also offer club teams, and we also offer intramural sports. And so I mentioned the 3 different areas because depending on your competitiveness, depending on your skill level, these are 3 different options for our students. If you want kind of more competitive nature with just students at Missouri State, I definitely encourage you to look at intramural sports. And if you want to be very competitive still, but not be a scholarship athlete, I would definitely consider club sports that are available for students. Missouri State does offer over 375 different student organizations, so a lot of organizations that students can be involved in. So definitely encourage students to look at faith-based organizations, political-based organizations, pop culture organizations, fraternity and sorority lives. We have a lot of different organizations on campus to help students. One of the best ways you can be successful during your college career is to get involved in one of these organizations. I always encourage students to look at their academic programs to see if their departments offer any student organizations based on their academic programs. That's a great way to stay connected to their individual major and things like that. So Jaslyn Marks asked, how would you describe the social environment at Missouri State? That's a great question, Jaslyn. I honestly think if you asked 20 people that question, you might get 20 different answers. But I would describe Missouri State's social environment as students at Missouri State like to get involved in various different organizations. That's why we have over 375 different student organizations. They want to get involved in things. They have passions that they have, and they want to share that passion with our campus, with our community at Missouri State and in Springfield. And I think that's really kind of a focus of Missouri State, is to help those students kind of share those passions that they're bringing to Springfield and to Missouri State, share that with the campus and with the community. And we have a downtown area that's a couple blocks northwest of campus that a lot of our students would utilize during their free time. A lot of coffee shops down there, theaters, music theaters, things like that for students to get involved down there as well. And we're also in the Ozarks, the beautiful Ozarks areas in Greene County. So a lot of outdoor activities. So a lot of opportunities for students to kind of get off campus, get into the wildlife and nature, kind of do hiking, canoeing, fishing, camping, things like that. So a great social environment at Missouri State. But again, I think what that social life looks like, what it looks like will be different from what student you ask to another. So Ty Thrasher asked, what does it do in Springfield? Ty, that's a great question, Ty. I would say Springfield offers a lot of different amenities. I always stress to students that Springfield is the 3rd biggest city in Missouri, obviously behind Kansas City and St. Louis, but it definitely does not feel like one of the 3rd biggest cities. But we have a ton to do in Springfield. We have a lot of the large amenities that a St. Louis or Kansas City would offer students. Again, beautiful Ozarks region, so you can do a lot of outdoor activities and things like that. So we're super excited about that. But again, if you want to go see the Springfield Cardinals, who are AA affiliate of the St. Louis Cardinals, and catch a baseball game, definitely an opportunity for you to do that as well. I personally enjoy the theater, something I recently found that I love. So I go to the Springfield Contemporary Theater every now and then to catch a performance and things like that. So a lot of things for our students to do in Springfield, in the city, but also kind of in the surrounding area as well. So Matt Magruder asked, Jimmy, does Missouri State require the ACT or SAT? If so, do we super score test results? Great question, Matt. Thanks for dropping that in there. Right now, Missouri State does require the ACT and SAT for fall 21 students. We do require the ACT and SAT. We understand that they're both going through some changes in their structure. So we are looking at super scoring test results, but nothing is final. And as of right now, we do not take super score scores. And so we do require the ACT and SAT. So great question, Matt. And thanks for my moderators again for dropping in and answering some of the questions for our students. But again, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I can answer them. Our moderators are definitely helping kind of address some of those questions for you as well. I'm going to plug it again, but if you have any more personalized questions for our staff, maybe on like housing or confirmation fee and things like that, please email us at admissions@missouristate.edu. We'd be glad to help you there. So Matt wants to follow up ACT or SAT. You don't have to take both. Correct, Matt. You don't have to take both the ACT or SAT. Take one or the other. I often talk to students on the road a lot about who've taken the ACT a couple times and got the same score. Definitely consider, if you continue to get the same score on the ACT or the SAT, try the other one. Look into that. So definitely consider that as well. Jaslyn Marks asked, do you know anything about the recruiting process for MSU? So yeah, Jaslyn, do you specifically mean the athletics part of the recruitment process? Okay, so I'll let Matt handle that in the chat there. So there's a question about esports at MSU. So we currently do not offer scholarship esports, but I can tell you that we are working on a esport kind of facility in our student union for students to utilize. That is super exciting that we're kind of looking at kind of tackling that passion for students who are into esports, things like that. But as of right now, we do not have an esport, so I would say athletic team on campus right now, officially associated with Missouri State. But again, I also want to mention, if you want to have a kind of one-on-one appointment with our staff, we do offer virtual appointments for our students, Zoom meetings, phone calls for our students. Again, that's going to be missouristate.edu. /contact rep. So super excited about that. Ty Thrasher asks, do you have Greek life? We definitely have Greek life, fraternity and sorority life at Missouri State University. Fraternity and sorority life is a big part of Missouri State's campus. A lot of students are involved in fraternity and sorority lives, and that helps them get connected to other organizations and things like that. We do offer several organizations for students who are interested in fraternity and sorority life, and I would definitely encourage you to check out kind of the organizations that we have here at Missouri State. And I'm pretty sure one of our moderators will be able to drop that in the link, kind of their link to the fraternity and sorority life here at Missouri State. So Sean Clethermus asks, what are the sort of the opportunities that are there for high achieving students at MSU? Great question, Sean. We understand that a lot of students who are coming to Missouri State are high achieving students, and we want to provide them with some kind of amenities for them. We have a Scholars House that is specifically for our honors college students. To become eligible for honors college, you do need to be Board of Governors eligible. They can drop a link into what that kind of means as far as scholarship structure and things like that. But being part of the honors college is a great way to get connected to other students who kind of share your passions and interests, things like that. There are a lot of benefits to our honors college program as far as registering for classes early, smaller class sizes, different class structures, and things like that. More access to research and things like that as well. I would definitely consider checking out the honors college link, but also I would definitely consider, if you have the opportunity of being in honors college, looking into really taking us up on that offer. This provides a lot of great benefits for our students. So super excited about that. You're welcome, Ty. So Cole Jewel asks, are there parks around or near campus? So great question, Cole. There are several parks around the Springfield area. There's a lot of trails. So if you're into like kind of walking on nature trails, things like that, we actually have a state park up or down in Busick, which I go often to go trail running. So a lot of parks kind of in the surrounding area of Springfield. We have parks just south of campus. So a lot of great opportunities for you to get out and kind of walk around in nature around campus, but also in the surrounding areas. So definitely opportunities for you there, Cole. Awesome. Adriana asks, can you talk about steps MSU takes for safety on campus? That's a great question. Safety is a big part of kind of the college experience, make sure that our students are safe when they're on campus. Missouri State has a lot of excellent features for our students when it comes to safety. We're actually lucky to have the Springfield Sub Police Station in the middle of our campus. They work in concordance with our own campus security. So it's just another added level of security for our students at Missouri State. We have several alert poles across campus. So if students do feel unsafe at any time, they can push that alert pole button and our staff will come and find them. A lot of great safety features as far as an alert system. Tell a quick short story. We have an alert system to where if anything was ever happen at Missouri State, the student will get notified, the parent will get notified simultaneously. It is incredibly effective. When I was in graduate school, actually, I forgot that I had my mom, as my kind of alert system contact. And so there was a tornado warning going on, and I get a call. And it's my mom. She said, "Are you safe? Are you safe?" And she's kind of frazzled. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. What's going on, Mom?" And she said, "I just got a text from Missouri State that there's a tornado warning in Springfield, and I want to make sure that you're okay." And she got it before I even noticed it. And so it's very effective to have like your parents on that alert system as well. They can get the information as you're getting it too. So super excited about that effectiveness. I'm going to scroll up a little bit, see if I miss any questions. All right, it looks like, did I miss anything up here? Oh, awesome. Thank you for the emojis there on the social environment. So awesome. Yeah, I would say the social environment at Missouri State is what you make it. There are a lot of opportunities with activities that Missouri State itself puts on, but also in the Springfield area, a lot of conferences that we put on, a lot of great opportunities for you to just kind of explore your interests and your passions. That's something I definitely encourage any student when you go off to college. Definitely take that time to explore your interests and your passions for sure. So Sean Cleathermos asked a great question about residence halls. What kind of residence halls do you have at Missouri State? That is a great question, Sean. Missouri State offers two different styles of residence halls for incoming freshman student. They offer community style and then suite style. Community style is kind of more the traditional style where you have the long hallway, rooms on either side of the hallway, and then a communal bathroom in the middle of the hallway. I always say if you want a more social experience, you should definitely consider our community style residence halls. It's a great way to meet a lot of people. That being said, you are sharing a room on that community style residence hall. So it's two people in a room on a hall as well. The suite style is kind of the more modern style. We have the big open living space, rooms connected to that living space. And then you have a bathroom for that living space, as well as kind of a kitchenette living area for the students. If you want a more private experience, I definitely would encourage you to consider the suite style. Great opportunity to kind of get close to your suite mates and things like that. Sean asked, "What's the best one?" That is a tough question, Sean. My personal favorites are Blair Shannon and Freddie, just because of their central location, as like their connection to the rec center and the academic buildings and the student union and things like that. I love Blair Shannon just because it has a dining center at the bottom of it. I know it's super small, but if it's snowing outside, like sometimes it does in Missouri in May or April, you don't have to worry about getting fully dressed to go down and get breakfast. You can just walk downstairs to the dining center in your pajamas, get breakfast, and then go change and get ready for class. If you were living like at Wells, you'd have to walk across the street and things like that in the snow. So definitely something to consider, but Blair Shannon and Freddie are my favorites for sure. So great question. Mira asks, is there an honors or arts residence or is it all mixed? So great question, Mira. We do have an honors, we do have a residence hall for our honor students. It's called Scholars House. As far as being mixed, we actually have what are called living learning communities where basically it's shared interest, shared major floor. So everyone on that floor, everyone in that kind of that section of the residence hall has the same shared interest. And so there are different interest areas that you can kind of join. And so you might be in Blair Shannon, but everyone on your floor is a business major and things like that. So that's something you can definitely consider if that's something that interests you. Maternal says, speaking of dining center, how is the food? I think the food is great. Honestly, I think the food is great. A lot of times I will actually eat my breakfast there, eat my lunch there instead of bringing it in just because I like the food that's in there. I love Garth's breakfast because they have an omelet station and I don't pass up on omelets whenever I get a chance. Breakfast is breakfast though. So I don't want you thinking we're making frittatas every day. But you can get a good hearty breakfast every morning. Lunch, there's a lot of different options that are being displayed. So a lot of different choices at lunch we can meet your food allergies or diet restrictions, things like that in our dining centers as well. See if I have questions I missed. Matt, it seems like he's a big fan of biscuits and gravy. I'll let you take all the biscuits and gravy. You give me all the eggs and hash browns, and we're good. So Gloria asked the question, how come the fashion area is off campus and do you have to pay for the shuttle bus? So two great questions there, Gloria. I don't actually know specifically why the fashion area is off campus. Maybe one of the moderators has some more detailed information about that. As far as the shuttle bus, you do not have to pay a fee to utilize that shuttle bus. You can hop on our Bear Line shuttle system and catch that being a student. So you don't have to worry about paying to use that shuttle system to get to and from campus to our downtown area. So definitely that. But I hope one of our moderators can answer that question about why the area is off campus. So Ashley asked, do you guys have any campus job opportunities? We have a ton of different campus jobs. Our office alone, the Office of Admissions, employs a lot of students. Multiple departments across campus employ a lot of students, the rec center, the student union. So there's a lot of great opportunities to get a job on campus. One thing I will say, Ashley, I would definitely encourage you to look for a job on campus first before moving off campus, look for a job. I say that because a lot of times, Missouri State, we understand that you're a student, so we're going to work with you in your schedule, whereas a lot of jobs off campus can't really say that. That being said, if you really want to get a job off campus or you want to transfer from, let's say, a Foot Locker in Kansas City to a Foot Locker in Springfield, our office, our student employment office can help you prepare for any job interviews, anything like that as well. So definitely have opportunities to help you there. Oh, Gloria asked a great question. How does the dining work? Like, is there a card or something? It's a great question. Well, we have multiple different meal plans for our students to utilize. They can have an unlimited plan, 19 meals per week, 14 meals per week, or 7 meals per week. The way it works is those meals per week are put onto your student ID card. So when you swipe your card to get into one of the dining centers, or when they scan your card to get into one of the dining centers, that is one meal removed from your meals per week. And so anytime you go in, that's another swipe. And so once you get to 14, I mean, you're out of swipes or out of scans for that week. But that's all it is simply just on your card, and you can utilize those meals. I do want to mention that we offer what's called boomer meals. So in our student union, we have a lot of private vendors, Panda Express, Chick-fil-A, Freddy's, Subway, a lot of private vendors. Boomer meals allow you to use that money at those private vendors. It's a great way to supplement kind of your meal plan, so you're not eating in the dining center 7 days or 21 times a week. You can hop over and go to Chick-fil-A for lunch on Saturday or something like that. So that's kind of how the meal plan works. I hope I answered that question for you, Glory. And Jim Wells kind of echoing what I'm saying, the food is seriously delicious. There is a lot of great variety too, a lot of great options for you there. So Mackenzie asked, can freshmen apply to live in an LLC if they declared a major? So yeah, depending on your major, so let's say you're a business major, there is a business LLC that you can be a part of. And so it is a requirement that you're a part of that major to be in that LLC, but you don't necessarily, there used to be an undecided LLC, but we've actually got rid of that one. But there aren't necessarily LLCs just for your major. We have ones for your interests. So we have a Fit and Active LLC, and we have a Sustainability LLC. So it's not necessarily just on your academic major, it's also kind of on your interest areas as well. Thank you, Kirsty and Courtney, for helping answer some of these questions and providing links. Appreciate you all so much. Awesome. So I think I'm caught up on questions. I hope I didn't miss anybody's questions. Real quick, again, it's not been a couple minutes. Let me plug, again, our admissions email account. So if you have any more personalized questions that we can answer for you, please send them to admissions@missouristate.edu. We'd be glad to kind of answer more in-depth questions there for you. And if you want a virtual meeting with an admissions representative, a Zoom meeting, or a phone call, please use our link, missouristate.edu/contact reps, to have that virtual kind of a virtual appointment with our admissions staff. Thank you, Courtney. Here for you too. Thank you for adding those links as well. Great. So going back a bit, I want to stress, just kind of talk about some things that I might have mentioned at the beginning or the top of the session. Real quick, Missouri State was founded in 1905. We founded as a teachers college, and to this day, we still have those exceptional education programs for our students. One thing I always mention to students is it's pretty common to find an alumni who still refers to us as Southwest Missouri State University, because in 2005, we actually changed our name to Missouri State University. So proud Missouri State, Most State. So super happy about that as well. And we have about 24,000 students that attend Missouri State. A lot of times students ask kind of about the total population there as well. If one of my moderators would be so kind, dropping maybe a link for cost in there as well. Obviously, costs are changing, and so it's something we're kind of in that cycle right now, so we're kind of updating our costs. But this will kind of give you an idea, starting point for fall 21 and fall 22, what our costs look like. Our cost does break out, tuition and fees for an academic year, your residence hall and your meal plan for an academic year, and then also your book supplies. We try to give you a total cost of attending Missouri State for one academic year as well. And thank you, Kirsty, for dropping the inquiry link. Definitely encourage you all to, if you have not filled out a request for information or inquiry form, use the link that Kirsty just posted there to get some more information about Missouri State. Your personalized site is kind of designed to let you explore Missouri State the way you want to explore it. And so I definitely encourage you to create a personalized site if you have not done so, using the inquiry form that Kirsty just dropped in there as well. So Ty asked a great question. Do you have to live on campus your freshman year? So great question, Ty. If you live further than 60 miles from campus, I know that's changing, you have to live on campus your freshman year. One thing I want to stress about that, I often talk to students about kind of living on campus. Regardless of what school you go to, you should try to live on campus your freshman year. It is a great way to get you connected to Missouri State University, to our campus, to our culture, get you connected to different organizations, different individuals, faculty, staff members on campus. So definitely be excited about that opportunity to live on campus. It's 1 year if you really are adverse to it, but definitely take us up on the opportunity to live on campus. Awesome. Any other questions for my students right now? So real quick, I want to go back and kind of talk about admissions criteria. I know a lot of students kind of have questions about that. So again, if you were incoming freshman, fall 21, fall 22, there are two things we need once you've applied to Missouri State. I do want to say there is no application fee. So I would definitely encourage you to apply to Missouri State. But once you've applied, we need your high school transcript, and then we also need your ACT or SAT test score. And once we get those the two documents, we can actually make an admissions decision on your application. Do got something in here. Emma Torna says, if I'm struggling with a class, can I find a tutor easily? Emma, great question. We have a lot of great services around campus to help our students kind of, if they have any struggle with classes. We have the Bear Claw, which stands for the Center for Learning and Writing, which kind of houses a lot of our tutoring and kind of our resources for students who might be struggling in certain classes. A great opportunity for students to utilize there, but it is incredibly easy to find tutors on campus, Emma, and we can definitely have a lot of different services to help you in your academics and stay on the right foot. So Gloria asked a really good question, a really kind of pertinent question. How will Missouri State change their sanitary restrictions post COVID-19? Great question, Gloria. One thing I do want to stress again, as you brought this up, we do have an admissions coronavirus update page that kind of details any updates that are happening with admissions process as it relates to the coronavirus and COVID-19. As far as sanitary restrictions, I don't know specific details that might be happening around campus to make campus more sanitary. But I know as soon as we get those updates, as soon as we make those changes, we will let our students know immediately kind of the new restrictions and new kind of standards. So great question, Gloria. So I wish I could give you more information on that one now. Awesome. Any other questions I can help out with, everyone? I'm going to scroll back up, make sure I didn't forget anybody else. Oh, great question, Sean. Can you have pets in the residence halls? Unfortunately, there is a restriction on pets. I will say that they're a little bit lighter on fish and having fish tanks. But again, when it comes to things like that, I definitely want to point you to the housing's webpage so you can kind of make sure you know when you're bringing stuff to campus that you can actually have it in your residence halls. But when it comes to dogs and cats, things like that, unfortunately, you cannot have those in the residence halls. So definitely take a look at that as well. And thank you, Matt, for addressing those questions. Thank you, Courtney, and all my moderators in here as well. I'm gonna scroll back up to make sure I didn't miss anything. Has it been 5 minutes? Should I plug our missions website, our email account? I think I will. If you have any more personalized questions about your case, please email us at missions@missouristate.edu. And I definitely encourage students to please, if you want to set up a virtual appointment with us and mission staff, go to missouristate.edu/contact reps. You can set up a virtual appointment, a Zoom meeting, or a phone call to kind of get your more personalized questions answered. So definitely encourage students to utilize that as well. Forgetting any questions? Oh, so Gloria asked a question. Also, what's the freshman summer thing I keep hearing about? That's before school year starts. Yeah, so Gloria, that is SOAR. That is our summer orientation program. And I'm glad you bring that up. SOAR is an opportunity to get you acclimated to campus before you start in the fall semester. A lot of stuff happens during SOAR. It's about a day and a half experience for our students. You're going to meet a ton of different departments, organizations, students, staff, faculty members. One of the two biggest things students will do at SOAR is going to meet their advisor and get registered for class. That is really the opportunity for you to kind of find out what your academic plan will look like moving forward at Missouri State during SOAR as well. So Sean asked a great question. Does Missouri State accept AP or IB? Sean, we do accept AP credits. We actually have a guide online that tells you kind of the guide of what score you will need to get to receive certain credits for those classes. One of my moderators can drop that link in there if you have any questions about that as well. And we do accept IB credit as well. So great question, Sean. We do have that. So Ashley asked, so what is the right time for class of 2021 to start applying? So Ashley, the right time for fall 2021 would be this summer. So our application will open up this summer. I wish I could give you a more hard deadline on that, but it will open up this summer. And at that time, that's a great time to apply to Missouri State. I always encourage students to identify your set of schools early in the process, apply to them early so you can start working on things like your scholarship applications. You can work on things like housing and paying your confirmation fee and getting ready for some orientation sooner in the process rather than later. So as soon as the application opens up in the summer, I would go ahead and apply in the summer. That being said, again, there is no application fee to apply, so definitely encourage you to work on that in the summer. And as soon as we have a more concrete date on that, we'll probably be sending out more communications to let you know. We'll let you know that the application is ready for you to apply for. So Gloria asked, is early decision bad? I mean, I think, again, that's kind of who you would talk to on that question. As far as early decision, Missouri State, as soon as our application opens up, and as soon as we start getting your documents, we start making decisions on students' applications. Some of our scholarships have the really hard deadlines. So like our competitive scholarships have pretty hard deadlines, but as far as early decision, not necessarily. Am I missing stuff? Oh, thank you, Courtney, for dropping the IB information in the chat. Thank you so much. And you're welcome, Ashley. Awesome. Thank you, Matt, for addressing those questions as well. So we're going to try to wrap it up here in the next 5 or 10 minutes. I'm definitely still open to taking more questions about Missouri State, about Springfield, about any interest area. I'm here to kind of get those answers for you. If you want to talk about breakfast, so you want to talk about eggs and bacon and hash browns, or you want to talk about biscuits and gravy, we can do that as well. Pretty knowledgeable on some other things as well, too. But I've had a great time chatting with you all so far. Some really good questions out there. Again, for my fall 21 students and my current juniors, my current sophomores, I definitely want to encourage you to take the virtual tour. I understand it's not right now, it's not the campus tour, but it's a great way to kind of see campus ahead of time. And I would say definitely recommend setting up an appointment with an admissions representative to kind of chat about just Missouri State in general. Again, that's missouristate.edu/contact reps is a great way to do that. There is a new chat in here, best way to prepare eggs. Best, I would say my favorite way is scrambled. I don't think you can beat a scrambled egg. But I like all eggs, so like poached is fine, fried is fine. As long as you don't put like a sunny side up egg on a hamburger, I'm good to go there. So Sean Cleedermus asks, does any cool bands come to MSU? We've had some great artists come to Missouri State in the past. One of my favorite artists of all time, his name is Childish Gambino. His real name is Donald Glover. He actually came to campus when I was in graduate school, and I definitely went to the concert. I rushed out of my business class as soon as it was over, still dressed from work, right over to the concert to see my favorite artist perform at Missouri State. And so that's something that we definitely welcome students to take part in. Definitely, if one of your favorite artists is coming to campus, coming to Springfield, go to those events. It's a great opportunity to kind of see your artists up close and personal. And thank you, Kirsty, for dropping that link in the chat to take a virtual tour. I cannot stress enough about taking that opportunity. So Gloria asked, am I a Missouri State alumni? So Gloria, I did my undergraduate degree at Pittsburgh State in Pittsburgh, Kansas. And then I did my graduate degree at Missouri State University in our College of Business. So I am an alumni of our graduate program. So yeah, I've lived in Springfield for about 7 years now. 7, 8 years now? Yeah, quite a while. Oh, and so Jim, thank you, Jim, for this. So we do have a YouTube channel, clearly, since we're going live on YouTube. YouTube.com/Missouri State Admissions, I think is the full link there. /Missouri State, just Missouri State is the link. So definitely encourage you to check out future live Q&A sessions with some of our admission staff. Check out some of the videos that we're putting up. Definitely look at the Missouri State Admissions website to kind of see, again, updates on how we're handling the coronavirus and COVID-19. Great way to stay kind of connected there. And again, take the virtual tour, set up a virtual appointment with an admissions representative. And if you have more personalized questions, please email admissions@missouristate.edu. I'm going to scroll back up and make sure I didn't miss any questions that might be good. A big thank you to my moderators, though. Huge help kind of addressing some of those questions, dropping links, picking up on questions that I might have missed or some things like that. Big help. Definitely could not have done this without you guys. You guys are amazing. Awesome. Thank you, Courtney, for dropping the personalized site in there. Personalized questions link for the admissions email address. Awesome. So seeing no more questions, I'm going to wrap this up. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you all today, answering your questions. Again, my name was Jimmy Sodi. I'm an assistant director in the Office of Admissions. I'm glad I could be here with you. One more time, if you have more personalized questions, email us at missouristate.edu, admissions@missouristate.edu. It's been a pleasure. I hope you all have a great evening and a great rest of your week. Thank you all.